Okay, so there's something huge going on in the world of AI hardware right now. We're talking about a deal so big, it's raising some pretty wild questions about the entire industry. Today, we're going to unpack a story that involves tens of thousands of the most powerful computer chips on the planet and a mystery right at the center of it all.
So let's start with the big number, 60,000. That's how many of Nvidia's absolute top-of-the-line AI GPUs Microsoft is shipping to the United Arab Emirates. I mean, that is a staggering amount of computing power, enough to train the most advanced AI models you can think of. But, and this is where the story starts to get a little strange.
Right before this massive deal came into focus, Microsoft's own CEO, Satya Nadella, went on record saying the company literally has a surplus of GPUs. You heard that right. He said they have so many, they don't even have enough physical slots to plug them all in. So, what's the deal here? Why would you ship 60,000 of your most valuable chips overseas when you're openly admitting you already have too many? That's the puzzle we're digging into today.
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, let's first just lay out the official details of the deal itself. What's actually happening on paper?
First off, this isn't some shady backroom thing. It's fully approved by the US government. We're talking about Nvidia's brand new cutting-edge chips being sent over as part of this enormous $15 billion investment by Microsoft. And get this is on top of the 21,000 high-end GPUs they already have in the UAE. So on the surface, it looks like a massive, straightforward push to build up the UAE's AI capabilities.
But like we said, what's so fascinating is how this huge investment seems to fly directly in the face of what we're hearing from the very top of Microsoft.
This is the core question, right? A company just doesn't admit to having billions of dollars worth of expensive, high-tech hardware sitting around collecting dust. So why would they say that, and then immediately turn around and announce this gigantic shipment overseas? It just doesn't seem to add up.
Well, to try and make sense of this, the analysis we're looking at today offers up a pretty provocative theory. It's called GPU laundering. Now hold on, this has nothing to do with anything illegal. It's all about one thing: perception.
The whole theory is based on this idea of investor optics. You know, in a super hot market like AI, the story you tell your investors can actually have a bigger impact on your stock price than what's really going on behind the scenes. So think about it. The reality of having a surplus of GPUs, that looks pretty bad to Wall Street. It makes it seem like you misjudged demand or, just spent way too much money. But what if you could change the story? By announcing a huge international shipment, that idle hardware suddenly becomes a strategic global deployment. A problem becomes a bold, forward-thinking plan. See how that works?
According to this theory, the playbook is pretty simple. Step 1, you have a surplus. Step 2, you announce a big, splashy international deal. Then, step 3, you can take your sweet time. The GPUs have to be inventoried, packed up, maybe they go on a 6-month-long sea voyage, then they sit in customs. All of this makes those idle chips look in use or in transit on the books. For investors, they're no longer just sitting in a warehouse, they're part of an exciting global expansion.
And this is where we zoom out, because the source analysis connects this specific theory about Microsoft to a much bigger critique of the entire AI industry right now.
You've probably heard this classic sales line before. You don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle. Well, the source argues that this is the perfect way to describe the AI world today. The hype, the sizzle, has become way more important than the actual substance, the steak.
And this obsession with sizzle leads to a phenomenon the source calls AI washing. It's basically just slapping the AI label on everything to make it sound futuristic and way more valuable, even if nothing under the hood has really changed.
And the source gives a perfect personal example of this. He had a standard tech class called A Course on Python and APIs, and almost nobody signed up. But then he just rebranded it as Powering Your AI App with REST APIs. Same class, same content, but suddenly everybody wanted in. It's the exact same skill, just wrapped in that AI sizzle.
So the big argument here is that all of this sizzle, all this AI washing, has blown up into a massive investment bubble. The source argues that the valuations for AI companies are getting dangerously disconnected from the actual real-world value they're providing.
Okay, so why does any of this matter to you, to the people actually working in tech? Well, the argument is that these huge global investments, whether they're for show or not, are actually changing the game for tech careers.
For decades, it's been the unspoken rule, right? If you wanted a serious, top-tier career in tech, you had to pack up and move to Silicon Valley. But this analysis says, maybe not anymore.
I mean, look at this. these massive AI investments are popping up all over the world. Countries like the UAE, Britain, Germany, they are pouring billions into becoming the next big tech hubs. And that's creating a ton of incredible opportunities far away from the California coast.
And this might be the most important takeaway. The source suggests that the super competitive, you have to be a rock star culture of Silicon Valley isn't the only way to succeed anymore. There are more chances than ever to build an amazing, interesting, and really well-paying career in tech without having to be right on the bleeding edge of a potential bubble.
And that brings us right back to our 60,000 GPU question. Is this incredible shipment a sign of real, strategic global growth, the dawn of a new AI era, or is it a grand illusion, a piece of theater for investors, just designed to keep the sizzle going in a market that might be getting a little too hot? The source material definitely leans towards the latter, and it leaves all of us wondering, what's real and what's just for show?